On a bustling street corner in downtown Chicago, Janelle Thompson stood frozen, her breath coming in uneven bursts. She fought to steady herself, her hands trembling at her sides. The sting of injustice still burned deep beneath her skin, raw and heavy. Moments ago, she had been escorted out of Memorial West Hospital for the last time. 6 years of dedication dismissed in a heartbeat. No warning, no dignity. But even in her turmoil, something pulled her attention. A commotion, people gathering. She blinked through tears she refused to shed. And then she saw him. A man, white, middle-aged, collapsed on the concrete sidewalk, his body crumpling like a marionette with its strings cut. For a split second, no one moved. Onlookers stood frozen, whispering, gawking, fumbling for their phones. Janelle's instincts as a nurse surged forward before her mind could catch up. She ran. Kneeling hard on the cold pavement, she checked his pulse, her hands suddenly steady, movements practiced and confident. His breathing was shallow. His heartbeat fluttered weakly beneath her fingertips. "Call 911, she barked without looking up. I'm calling," a man stammered from behind her. "Does anyone have an AED?" Janelle's voice was sharp, cutting through the murmurs. Silence. "Most cafes have them. Someone go inside and ask," she snapped. A young barista finally bolted toward the nearest cafe entrance. Janelle started chest compressions. Her knees dug into the concrete. 1, 2, 3. Hard and fast. Focused. She blocked out the ache in her arms and the rawness in her throat. She had done this before dozens of times. She would not lose him. Not today. But then the murmurs changed. "She's going through his pockets," someone accused. Janelle's hands didn't falter, but her heart nearly did. "She's not helping him. She's robbing him," another voice chimed in, laced with suspicion and fear. Janelle gritted her teeth, keeping her focus. 1, 2, 3. Ignore them. Then a new voice cut through the crowd like a blade. Deep, commanding, furious. "She's a nurse," he snapped. "She's saving his life." The crowd went still. Janelle glanced up, just for a second, and met the dark, intense gaze of the man who had spoken. He stood tall, imposing, his expression carved in stone. His presence alone seemed to make people step back. Moments later, the barista returned, breathless, AED in hand. Janelle quickly attached the pads, instructing him as she worked. Sirens wailed in the distance. Relief flooded her as the man beneath her gasped, his chest rising on its own. By the time paramedics took over, Janelle's hands were shaking. She stepped back, heart pounding in her ears. She didn't wait for thanks. She didn't want to see the faces of those who had doubted her. She turned and walked away. The weight of the day. Later that night, in her tiny one-bedroom apartment, Janelle sat in the dark. Her rent was due in 2 weeks. Her mother's medication needed refilling. Her phone was buzzing with voicemails she didn't have the energy to listen to. And those voices, the accusations, they echoed in her mind. She's stealing. She's not helping. It didn't matter that she had saved a man's life. To them, she was still just another black woman on the street. Disposable. Suspect. She clenched her fists, trying to push the memory away. Sleep came late, restless and shallow. At 7 a.m., pounding on her door jolted her awake. Janelle shot up, heart racing. She peeked through the peephole. 4 black luxury cars lined the curb outside her rundown building. At her door stood the man from the street, the one who had defended her. This time he wore a tailor navy suit, his stance calm but commanding. Janelle Thompson? His voice was smooth, deep. She hesitated, but opened the door an inch. "What do you want?" He smiled faintly. "Didn't mean to wake you this early, but I figured a phone call wouldn't be enough." "For what?" she asked warily. "My father, Richard Bennett, the man you saved yesterday. He wants to see you." Janelle blinked. Richard Bennett. She knew the name. Everyone in Chicago did. A self-made millionaire. Hospital investor. Philanthropist. Is he okay?" she asked. "He's stable." The man, Marcus Bennett, replied. "Because of you." She didn't answer. She looked past him to the cars, to the life she couldn't even imagine touching. Marcus's expression softened. Come with me. Have breakfast with me. Let me explain. Her instincts screamed caution, but caution hadn't gotten her anywhere lately. She grabbed her coat. Fine. Let's go. An offer she couldn't imagine. The ride was quiet. Janelle stared out the window as Marcus watched her with an unreadable expression. They pulled up to a private cafe that oozed exclusivity. Two men in discreet suits stood by the door. Inside, the cafe was sleek and silent, the kind of place where millions changed hands over quiet conversations. Marcus led her to a booth. Coffee appeared without being ordered. Drink, he said softly. You'll need it. Janelle wrapped her hands around the cup, the warmth steadying her. Marcus leaned forward. My father wants to thank you properly. He's a private man, but what you did, it matters. I don't need his money, Janelle said, her voice steady. This isn't about need. It's about what you deserve. He slid an envelope across the table. Janelle didn't open it. I told you, she said. I didn't do it for a reward. Marcus exhaled. I believe you. But my father isn't just offering you money. He looked into you. Her stomach twisted. Excuse me. He knows about your job, about how they treated you, about how you've sacrificed everything and gotten nothing in return. Her throat tightened. He wants to fund your education, Marcus said. Med school. No strings attached. Janelle stared at him. Why? Because he's been there. Shut out. Ignored. Underestimated. He sees himself in you. The silence stretched. Janelle's hands trembled as she picked up the envelope. Inside was a full scholarship, a stipend, an offer of a position in one of Richard Bennett's private hospitals once she finished school, and a business card. Simple. Clean. Marcus spoke quietly. You save his life without hesitation. Now he wants to give you yours back. Janelle blinked hard against the sting in her eyes. She had spent so long fighting alone, clawing for every inch. Was this real? She met Marcus's gaze. What's the catch? There isn't one, he said. And if you don't take it, he'll find another way. Janelle exhaled slowly. Sounds like stubborn runs in the family. Marcus smiled faintly. You have no idea. She took the envelope. Her hands were steadier now. Okay, she said. A new chapter begins. The weeks that followed felt surreal. Janelle met with Richard Bennett himself, a man who exuded power and warmth in equal measure. He told her his story, how he had started with nothing, how he had made it because someone once had believed in him. Now he believed in her. Med school acceptance letters arrived, expedited. Paperwork was signed. Funding transferred. Janelle's future, once a dead end, became a wide-open road. And Marcus? He was there, a quiet, steady presence, offering support, not charity, belief, not pity. On the day Janelle stood in front of her new apartment, bigger, safer, brighter, she thought of that day on the street. The cold concrete, the crowd that doubted her, and the man who didn't. She was still the same woman, still a nurse, still Janelle Thompson from a South Side. But now, she was also a future doctor, and no one could take that from her. Epilogue, pay it forward. Years later, Dr. Janelle Thompson stood in the ER of Bennett Memorial Hospital, the newest addition to Richard Bennett's legacy. She wore a white coat with her name stitched in blue. People respected her now. They saw her. They listened. But she never forgot where she came from, or who she fought for. And when a young woman from a background like hers walked into her office, scared and unsure, Janelle smiled and slid an envelope across the table. Someone once gave me a chance, she said. Now it's your turn.